So, this yarn, this scrumptious, luxurious, delectable combination of alpaca and zwartbles, is a leftover of a previous project. Said project was a hat which was meant to be for me, but was too big and now is in my husband's wardrobe. Which is unfair and kinda rude that that pattern was so big, even though I gauge-swatched, I did that. So, of course, I must make something for myself with this leftover yarn, because I am the person that gets summoned whenever you say zwartbles 3 times in the mirror. Now, this is not enough yarn to make another hat for me, so the plan is to make a headband. A very simple one with not a lot going on, because I just want to show the luxury of this yarn, so haha, we're strapping on for a very interesting video. Well, I said this was going to be a very simple headband, but actually it's a headband in English rib, which is, to be honest, a stitch that I have not yet tried, and I'm also not sure if I have to do the same modifications that I have to do on brioche. So I'm trying right now. Just watching if I can get this stitch pattern right. The thing that I have to do with brioche is, instead of slipping a stitch purlwise or working the stitch purlwise, because I knit in an Eastern way, I have to do that knitwise. My brioche trick didn't work out, which is kind of expected because this is not brioche, but my rib was twisted. But you know what did work out? Reading the pattern instructions, like just as they are in the pattern. Who would have thunk? Well, clearly not me, because I am so used to having to convert any pattern that has this kind of structural element to it into something that would work for Eastern Uncrossed, but apparently English rib is not only for those that knit English. Whee! What a miracle that this is a pattern that just works out the way it is written for Eastern knitters as well. Even when I say it is going to be an easy project, I will find a way to overthink it and make it harder on me than it should have been. As you might probably hear in the background, we have been chased out of the studio by my musical husband and his brothers. But that also kind of gives me the comfy environment to introduce a second talking point into this video. Because it wouldn't be a me video if I wouldn't talk about multiple topics in one. I have had some comments from you guys saying that I must be an extraordinarily fast knitter, and I would like to prove you wrong. I think it is not that I am a fast knitter or that Eastern Uncrossed makes me a fast knitter. It is just that I dedicate a lot of time to my projects, and that makes it sustainable for me to have a video like this every week. But I cannot prove you wrong without empirical data. So I would like to time this project, this very simple headband, and see how long it actually takes me to knit a thing. Because I am aware that you see this in nicely cut, edited videos that sometimes show a project on which I have worked literally half a year in less than half an hour, and well, that is fast, of course. But I have worked on that half a year, not just that half hour, right? You know that there is a reality behind videos. Yeah. Okay, so this project I already have 1.5 centimeter or maybe 2 centimeters, but we're going to discount that. I'm going to start timing how long it takes me to knit this headband. So I was just knitting while also watching my timer, and this row of 30 stitches in English rib was knit in 35 seconds. That will not win me any kind of speed knitting records. No, nothing whatsoever. Just to compare, here is the record. I just finished watching the latest Rachel Maxey upload because I am just a basic YouTube watcher like you are. No offense. But that coincided with half an hour of knitting. And that looks, in my speed, like this. Yeah, I've got quite a bit to go before an actual headband emerges. This is a good gauge swatch. Oh, what are you doing back there? And you might have noticed this lying around here. When I say that sometimes my projects take half a year, yeah, they do, but I also must admit that I'm always working on multiple projects. So this is one that I'm working on. Here's another. And then I also have a project on my loom right now. Exciting, right? This is how I make multiple videos possible, just work at everything at the same time. And I hope you will just endure me for a moment, fawning again, once again, another video over the beauty of this yarn, this fiber combination. It has a little bit more stripes than I had anticipated or that I had wanted when blending the bats, but can you see the beautiful heathering this alpaca zwartbles yarn produces? 1 hour, 52 minutes and 9 seconds. That is as much time as I have to knit today, and this is where we're at. Yeah, I mean, like 2/3 maybe of a headband in a little less than 2 hours. That's not bad. So maybe you are right, and I am a fast knitter. Anyway, we'll see you when I have more time to knit. It is only February when I am recording this, but the weather is so nice right now. Let's just complete this headband before I have no longer a reason to wear headbands because the weather is too nice. Anyway, let's get our clock out. Where is it? I know the alphabet. Here we go. Where we left off, 1 hour, 52 minutes and 9 seconds. I'm going to press start and start. The people that commented that I knit pretty fast seem to hint at the fact that that is because I knit Eastern Uncrossed, and while I cannot entirely dispute that it is faster than some other techniques might be, I think the main trick, the main technique of becoming a faster knitter is just knit more. Get so comfortable and acquainted with knitting that you could practically do it with your eyes closed, and you will see for yourself that you will also become a lot faster. I don't think there is one style or one technique that makes anyone faster instantly. It's just about practice and passion maybe too. And changing your style to try and be faster just only by changing the way you knit might have the adverse effect. Because if I were to suddenly start knitting in English style, just because I might think that that is faster than my usual Eastern Uncrossed, I would be slower because I would probably be making a lot more mistakes because I am so used to the motions of Eastern Uncrossed. It's kind of a muscle memory. And all in all, does speed actually matter? I mean, kind of. If you want to be a knitting YouTuber that has a finished object every now and then, it's quite useful to not take a year to finish something. But other than that, your speed actually just does not matter. Personally, that's my opinion. I don't know what you think about that. Oh, my ply has gotten loose. That's a weird thing. We don't want that. Anyway, as I said before, I was distracted by a loose ply. What are your opinions upon what I have just said? Let me know down below, type away in the comments. We are at 2 hours. I don't even know if you can see this. I amp up the lighting maybe. Yeah, 2 hours, 23 minutes and 35 seconds. And that will probably be our final knitting time because this is all the yarn that there is left. We have this much of knitted fabric. Will it fit around my head is the big question now. Let's try. It seems to be the perfect amount of knitting. Let's sew this together and finish this off. Honestly, I am not sure whether my 2.5 knitting session on this very simple headband is convincing enough that I am not a really fast knitter. Maybe I am disproving myself instead of you. I don't know, this was for the record knit on 3.5mm needles and pretty loosely knit. So that just flies off the needles if you have the time to knit for 2.5 hours, I'd say. What would have been your estimate, actually, to the time that I would need to finish such a turban-style twisty headband? Personally, I actually thought that I would be closer to the 3-hour mark. So in that sense, I kind of surprised myself with my speed. But I must also say, whenever there is a timer involved, I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to go faster than I usually should, even though I wanted to prove that I am not actually all that fast. Like the timer just made me want to go fast. Or is it just my brain being weird? Anyway, I am super happy that now I also have a zwartbles alpaca hat piece, because it was very rude and inconsiderate of that pattern to be too big for my hat. And now the luxurious yarn that I spun from the alpaca and the zwartbles was now for my husband, while I had to actually really meant it to be for me. I wanted that yarn to be a selfish knit. It didn't eventually, but now it did eventually. I'm really glad about that because it just feels so nice. I don't know if I want to take it off. But then again, I am the person you can summon by saying zwartbles 3 times in the mirror. I also think this will be a great piece now that the seasons are changing, slowly getting into spring. This will be a staple for when it is just a little bit chilly, but not cold enough to put on a real hat. Anyway, what do you think? If you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe, but of course that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video, but before we do that, maybe you could look at some more knitting shenanigans. Bye!